it's just loading up. We always have to do this after the song plays. Something about copyright issues or something. So anyway, okay, and okay, we should be good to go. All right, cool. All right, and we are now live. And there's one other thing I got to do. I got captions here. I got to get that off. Okay. All right. There's a lot that goes into these things, folks. A lot that goes into it. Okay, so now we just have to hit the record button here. Here we go. All right, good evening again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of DayTradeSPY.com's Weekend Review, Intro to Trading, hosted by yours truly, Hugh. They call me Humble Hugh, and today is Sunday, March the 30th, 2025. All right, 2025, and we are good to go here this evening. Please use the questions box. You'll find the icon on your Zoom dashboard. Click on that. I am the only one that sees that, so I'll go ahead and say whatever you want. Any questions? I'll be looking for them. I see a whole bunch of people coming online here, including some folks I haven't seen in a long time. Wow, good to see you guys. Wow, you didn't forget about us. Good to see you. All right. All right, let's get going here. I see a lot of people still joining us, so I'll give you a couple seconds here to read this disclaimer. I'll be quiet for about 20 seconds while you go through that. All right, pretty straightforward, right? You alone are responsible for all your own trading. Past performance does not guarantee future results. I don't think that was quite 20 seconds, but I think you get the drift. All right, there I am in living color. Let me see. And yeah, that's the sunset behind me. It's getting dark here. It's getting dark. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about here today, folks. We're going to discuss last week. We're going to review last week. We're talking about the upcoming week. Going to give you a 2-minute tutorial, answer your questions, talk about what we have to offer for you. And actually, tonight I've got a contest for you. And at the end of the session here, and it's going to be kind of like a lottery. Um, I think you'll enjoy it. The winner is going to get the copy of the ebook Triumphs and Tragedies. But just stick around to the end, and it'll be very easy. I'm trying something a little bit new on this one, so I hope it works. I spent all afternoon programming this thing. It wasn't easy. I'm not a programmer, but anyway. All right, let's get going here, and I gotta get on this. I've got a lot of things going on here. Okay, all right. I just have to take care of this. Okay. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do today. All right, folks. So my name is Hugh. Real quick summary. I think probably most of you know my background. Corporate America. Handed off my money to my financial advisor. He blew half of it out. I took control, learned how to do this myself, and discovered some cool strategies, and the rest is history. Other people noticed, course me to teach them how to do it. I'm the real deal, folks. Been training internationally since 2010. We have clients all around the world. We've taught thousands of people how to day trade options on SPY, looking for short-term breakout trades. And that's kind of where our strength is. And after some cool strategies, I'll tell you, it wasn't an easy road here, right? It was a long and winding road, right? Very treacherous. Made a lot of mistakes, did some good things. But one of the things I learned from this process was that if you learn from your mistakes and stop doing so many things that you're doing wrong, then the only thing left is to do things that are right, right? The things that are the good things. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Anyway, it's been working very well for me, and people course me. So we started this website back in 2010, including our trading room, our famous trading room, and or some people might say infamous, but we're still doing it. As far as we know, it's the longest running trading room, so must be doing something right. All right, let's take a look. I want to remind you, don't forget SPY on the Market. This is our weekly newsletter. I write this newsletter, and it goes out to the many thousands of people out there. It's a very light, relevant reading, entertaining. It's free. It gets in your inbox every Thursday morning. I think it's in the mornings. And all you have to do is subscribe. Just go to our website, DayTradeSPY.com. When the pop-up comes up, just leave us your email address. This week's topic is the difference between traders and investors. Between traders and investors. Okay, you can also catch the old editions of Spy on the Market if you go to the website daytradespy.com and go up to the top left. I believe it is right here. You can catch the old newsletters right here, and just click on that. And then where did it go? It disappeared on me here. All right, there it is right there. And click on newsletters. You'll get all the old newsletters, and there's some pretty good ones. Actually, they're all pretty good. All right. So here's what happened last week. Let's take a look and see what happened last week. All right. Quite a quite a bad week for the market. I'm not going to kid you. All right. And not a great week for us either. But sometimes you got to take the bad with the good, right? So on Monday, we had mixed PMI reports, but overall, SPY did rise a little bit off a key support area, got back into the 574 territory to break the recent downtrend that we had. So things were looking very positive. We're going to break that trend and get out of that negative territory. Didn't last long. Negative Richmond Manufacturing Index came in on Tuesday, coupled with a weaker than forecast consumer confidence report and new home sales. Kept SPY aloft, but on Wednesday, significantly higher than expected durable goods orders, inflationary suppressed SPY back down to the 567 zone. Once we broke that support level, it just came crashing down, right? Let me see if I can try this here. Let's see if I can let's see how about a pen? Let's try a pen. So this is the oh, there it is right. It's supposed to be a straight line, and it didn't really work out that way, did it? So let me just erase that and see if I can undo that. Undo that line. I guess I'm not going to be able to undo that line over here if I go trash it. Clear all drawings. Anyway, that's not clearing. All right, clear all my drawings. Why is it not clearing? Okay, clear this drawing. You know, if I get a shape here, maybe if I get the shape. There we go. That yellow line. That's a little bit better. Now I want to see if I can clear that other line. Clear all drawings. Look at that. It won't clear all my drawings. It just clears the one that I want to keep. Okay, well, such is life. Okay, so consider a straight line across right there. Okay, straight line across. That is the support. Once it fell down there, that's it. It kept going and down it went. So that was not a good day on the market. We dropped actually quite a few points. All right, moving along. All right, moving along here. What happened here on Thursday? Economic news and more uncertainty around the tariffs. Elevated volatility ultimately closed slightly lower on Thursday. We couldn't quite make it on Thursday. All right, we couldn't make it on Thursday. And Friday, the continuation moved as Wall Street grappled with President Trump's escalating trade war and reinvigorated inflation pressures amid souring consumer sentiment. The S&P 500 lost almost 2% on Friday. We've gone down to a level I haven't seen in a long time, quite some time actually, the 554 level. And there we are. So not a good place to be here. Okay, let's see if we can get these drawings out. Clear all the drawings. Well, I don't know why that's not clearing out, but it doesn't matter. Let's move along. Let's move along. That was the week. We lost a good few points. Came down from what, about 576 down to 554. That was a drop of about what's that? About 22 points in just actually about 2-3 days. Not a good spot to be in. So. Okay, all right. Now to move this forward. Okay, now I'm trying to move this forward. Okay, there we go. There we go. Here's what it looks like from a seasonal standpoint. That blue line you see on the chart, that's actually the where SPY is now, and the red line at the bottom is the composite of the last 5 years closing price on the daily chart. And if we just zoom in a little bit here, okay, let's take a look and get right in here. You'll see that historically, interestingly enough, we still rose about 7 points from last week. So we still had a good week in historically. And historically, SPY still rose 4 points the following week. Now, Just because it happened the last 5 years doesn't mean it's going to happen again. And with the what's it called, Liberation Day, April the 2nd, when the tariffs come into effect, not sure what's going to happen then. Not looking too promising right now for the stock market. So, but we'll see. But certainly, looking at the past results, we have this move to the upside. So, okay, all right. Da-da. Erase all. I'm trying to. I don't know how this happened here. How we got onto this crazy. Well, if I can erase this whole thing there, we'll see. Anyway, all right. Last week, what happened? Market volatility continued to wind up Q1 amid inflation worries. Newly announced tariffs to take effect April the 2nd. He was going to make it April the 1st, but I didn't want it to be an April Fool's joke. Didn't want people to think that, so he moved it to April the 2nd. Remains to be seen if tariffs will be permanent or negotiated away. Either way, they act as a drag on economic growth. Some people say that the threats of tariffs is just as bad, if not worse, than the tariffs themselves. Uncertainty may stay elevated as other countries consider trade retaliation, and they are. The labor market is, I'm sorry, a little, okay, there we go. Labor market remains strong as the Feds take a wait and see approach and not looking to raise interest rates. Fed Chair Powell's been pretty adamant about just waiting to see and react to the market rather than be proactive in anticipating inflation. He's going to wait and see what happens. I know Trump has always been very he wants to get interest rates down. My opinion is that I'm thinking here he's going to try and get some inflation going through a recession, the whole tariffs, everything else, and force Powell to reduce interest rates in that fashion. Not really sure. Um, I don't think anybody knows what Trump thinks, but we can only anticipate what's going to happen here. U.S. auto imports, this is a big one, right? So we had the auto pact that went back to the 1960s. This is where Canada and the U.S., all right, agreed on duty-free auto parts and autos moving back and forth the border, like an invisible line. This not a big deal. There's no duties. Just you got cars, go ahead. And the strategy there was, which was by the way endorsed by um, everybody, and all the industry leaders, all the government leaders, everybody thought this was a brilliant idea to diversify the supply chain and it's good for everybody, right? It's good for everybody and because it's such a major industry. And we need to get the resources from wherever we can and wherever they're cheapest, and that's kind of the objective. If you can get cheaper labor from somewhere else, that's where they go. Money is very mobile. It goes to where it gives you the best return on investment here. Um, and it was set up that way, and it worked very well. And I mean, everybody was making money. The cars were reasonably priced. People can afford to buy them. So it looks like we're getting most imports from Mexico, 32%, Japan 16%, South Korea 15%, Canada 13%. Um, and this is really important. So if there's going to be a tariff on Canada and Mexico, that's going to have an impact on our car, on our car industry, right? Automotive industry. About 8 million cars sold last year were imported, so we can expect some industry disruption there. And I don't know if they thought this through or if they don't care or what, but it's not just the automotive industry that gets affected by this. If automotive plants close, those people that are making, around $28 an hour, auto workers, I believe that's the average hourly wage. They don't have that money to spend in stores, restaurants, bars. They don't have that money to spend on their kids' education or their mortgages. So I think the spin-off from this is going to be absolutely phenomenal. and there's going to be a lot of it's going to be yeah, it's going to be very bad. When tens of thousands of auto workers are put out of work, uncertainty, inventories are going to be disrupted. I shudder to think what's going to happen. When people are stressed financially, a lot of them turn to crime, and you're going to see families torn apart, that sort of thing. It's just going to be I don't know. I don't see this as a good thing at all. But we'll see what happens. And I don't know if President, and these are my opinions, but I don't know if President Trump thinks that you can snap your fingers and there's an automotive factory just built, uh, wherever you want, and suddenly you've got all the employees and everything's chugging along like normal. And he said the other day that he doesn't want the auto companies to raise their prices. Uh, this whole economic uncertainty reached the highest it's been since 2020 during COVID, right? So the thing just shot right up. Last week, here's what happened. The S&P dropped 1.5%. Year to date, we're down 5.1%. I believe it's going to be temporary. This kind of what happens. Everything else dropped as well. The other indices or indexes, however you want to say that, dropped as well. The tech-heavy Nasdaq dropped the most year to date, 10.3%. A lot of those companies are overvalued, and they're generally the first to lose market valuation when things get tough. So they're down quite a bit. Okay, they're down quite a bit. All right. What do you say we take a poll now? I kind of see what you guys all think. All right. We're coming up April the 2nd. That's what, Wednesday? Wednesday, the tariffs come into effect. I think we're gonna see a brutal halt. Um, I was reading somewhere that in Canada, the automotive industry, if these tariffs come in, the automotive industry there will last 1 week, and then everything falls apart. The economy completely is falls into you know, that's it. So, so my question to you: do you think President Trump is going to go through with his tariff threats, or is he going to make some last minute concessions? Um, Punch it up in the questions box. Yes, he's going to go through, or no. This is his patent negotiation tactics that he uses, and he has done this before. He has done this before, and this is what he does. I'm just going to move this down a little bit here. There we go. Make it a little bit centered more. And I think he talked about this in his book, The Art of the Deal. Comes on strong, gets things shaken up, and then he changes everything at the last minute. And the funny thing is, wasn't it Trump in his last term who negotiated the Mexican, Canadian, North American, U.S. deal? But now he threw that out the window. It's not a big thing on his mind anymore. So, all right, let's see. The results are all coming in now. Yes, negotiation tactic. Yes, yes, yes. He'll put him in, then he'll change his mind once he sees the damage. Scott, I tend to agree with you on that. So my opinion on that is that yeah, there's going to be damage, lots of collateral damage. Now, um, for example, the energy sector, I know the U.S. is getting energy at a very discounted price from Canada. So if Canada says, okay, fine, we're going to find new markets for our oil and gas and everything, then then what's going to happen? They find new markets at market prices. And then if we go back to Canada, say, oh, it didn't really quite work out. Okay, we want to re-implement that deal we had with the oil. And then Canada says, well, okay, we can sell it back to you, but it's at market price now. You don't get the discount. Therein lies the danger, right? Therein lies the danger. So, I don't know. All right, let's go on with some more questions here. I think you will go through with it. Yes, negotiation. It's a negotiation tactic. Robert P says no. Ken said he will implement. Don't know. There'll be no negotiation. There will be negotiation. Okay. Don't know. Yes. Part of his negotiating tactics. Don't know. That's why I think your doom and gloom is premature. If you can even play, if you can even the playing field, it should be good for America. These are negotiation tactics. He's willing to implement them or reduce them. His negotiation. It's interesting. We got a really good mix here. A lot of yeses here. A lot of yeses. Part of his Heritage Plans Project 2025. Yes, no, 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 yes, 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 no, yes. He's just one sick person. Yes. Right. The best deal ever when he announced the new NAFTA. Okay, how do we make money in these uncharted waters? Okay, well, let's talk about that. All right, so we got a mixed bag here, folks. A real mixed bag as to what you guys all think about his tariffs. But certainly the uncertainty has created a lot of volatility in the market, and it's hurt a lot of equity already. So we're gonna wait and see what happens. Coming up this week, we've got Chicago PMI report on Monday. Tuesday, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. Also, Institute for Supply Management Manufacturing PMI. 15 minutes later, JOLTS job openings on Tuesday. ADP non-farm employment change on Wednesday. Unemployment claims. S&P Global and ISM Services PMI reports on Thursday, and on Friday, unemployment reports. And we have Fed Chair Powell speaking on Friday, and he is going to be speaking. And this could be interesting here. I think that we're going to see some volatility on Friday over this. He is going to be speaking about the economic outlook at the Society for Advancing Business Editing and Writing annual conference in Arlington. That's going to be on Friday at 11:25 a.m. We also have some Fed members speaking on Friday afternoon. So we're going to wait and see what happens. As far as volatility next week, here's what I expect. High on Monday, Tuesday, medium on Wednesday, back to high on Thursday and Friday. All right. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. All right. Interesting, isn't it? We're in interesting times, folks. Interesting times. Okay, so expect volatility also to be elevated when President Trump speaks. I don't have him on schedule yet, but he's been speaking just about every day, and whenever he speaks, the volatility tends to rise, right? So it tends to go up. So we'll see what happens. Okay, okay. Let me just see what else he got. And I'll take a look at the week ahead. Let me get back into the screen here, bouncing around here. 2-minute tutorial, folks. We're going to talk about not trading in volatile markets. Oh, no, we're going to talk about theta. Tonight, it's going to be about theta. Theta. It's the Greek. It's the Greek that means time value, right? Time value. What is theta? This is the time loss. Just because you so what we do for those who are new and don't know what we do, we just day trade SPY, which is the spider, the stock that follows the top 500 stocks. Basically, where the top 500 stocks go, that's where SPY goes. And you can generally follow that with the economy. Where the economy goes, you can anticipate where the top 500 stocks are going to go. Stocks are very affected by the threat of interest rates. They like lower interest rates. And if there's ever any threat to inflation, if there's a threat that inflation is going to go up, that means interest rates are probably going to go up, right, to combat inflation. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. But theta is that Greek that if you own an option, it's just going to whittle away at your option little by little. So some people lately I've been talking to like these zero date expiration trades, and you can make a lot of money when you're going in the right direction. Right? You can make a lot of money, especially when you really bang it on. But it's also high risk. And when you have a zero date expiration, your theta is going to be 100% that day, theta loss. What does that mean? Well, That's fine if you're going in the right direction. If you're going in the wrong direction, they take that premium out. They suck it out very quickly. And volatility gets sucked out, and time value gets sucked out at a very quick rate, very rapid rate. And it's near impossible to get it back. Very often, if the stock does go back, let's say you're looking at call options, and let's say, for example, the stock is at, I'm just going to throw a number out there, $560, right? And your option is worth $1. And then the stock drops a little bit, and and your option drops. You got a call option. Your option drops, say to 80 cents, and then the stock goes back up to $6. Well, your option is not going to necessarily go to $1 unless it happens like right away. But if it happens, say, an hour later, well, that option you bought for $1, where the stock is at the same price, that only might be worth 90 cents, or maybe not even, right? Um, you may have to have the stock go up to $605 to get your dollar back. And I'm just throwing numbers out conceptually. So you have to have the stock go up considerably to make up for that theta loss. And the theta loss gets sucked out during the day, and it goes exponentially faster as time goes by. During that last hour, half hour, 15 minutes, that theta loss is getting sucked out like a vacuum cleaner. If you're in a trade in that last little bit, even in the afternoon, which is why I don't like to trade in the afternoon, especially on expiration day, that's a pure gamble. You can make a lot of money, and it's great when you're in the right direction, but when you're not, you're toast. You're toast real fast. So I always like to buy time. So as an example, I like to buy time. If it's Monday and Tuesday as a rule, I'll buy same week's expiration on Friday's expiration. As an example, using this last Friday's expiration, the at the money call price on SPY was $7.19. That's where we ended up. The theta loss at that point was 80 cents. That works out to about a 11.1% theta loss, right? 11.1% theta loss on options expiring 1 week out. If you go further out to the following week, okay, in other words, in this case, 12 days out, you'll find that your at the money call options then was $9.59. Excuse me. And your theta loss is only 44 cents. Well, as a percentage, right, your theta loss is actually only 4.6%. Of course, the argument is, well, the options are more expensive, and that's true. But when you sell your option, you're going to get that money back anyway. So if you're looking to say spend $4,000 worth of options, and you might buy, I don't know, let's say you're going to buy 15 options that are going to expire in 5 days. Just throwing numbers out there. So you buy 10 options instead of 15. What's the difference? Might even save a few bucks on commission. The moves are still strong on those longer out expirations, not too far out. I'm not suggesting you go a month out or something, but maybe go a week, maybe a little more, maybe a week and a half, maybe even, if you want to try 2 weeks, play with it a little bit, see how you are with it. I notice that the moves are still there, but I like to so on Mondays and Tuesdays, I like to buy the same week's expiration. And on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, for call options, I like to buy the following Friday's expiration just to get some theta in there, okay? Because if and when the stock moves against me, I'm not going to lose that much. And I do have some time in which the stock can organically come back, or I can maybe repair the trade if need be, right? I know it does cost more, but you are going to recover that upon the sale of your option. And it's also much safer in highly volatile times like we're seeing, okay? Um, it's not as crazy as the 0 day or next day expirations, but you're not going to get that head fake as much. You're not going to get that whipsaw effect, and it's just a little safer for those of you who want some safety. If you want the excitement, hey, knock yourself out. Go with the 0 day expirations, and let me know how that works out for you. A lot of people make a lot of money doing that, but when it hits you hard. And here's the other danger with that. If you're one of those people who are making some very good money with zero date expirations or next day expirations, and you're doing very well with it, what you have is this confirmation that you're doing really, really well, and you tend to put more money into it, right? You tend to get in a bigger investments with it, right? Well, instead of it putting $1,000, I'll put 5,000 or 10,000 or something because I'm really good at it, right? And then one day, that's going to hit you real hard when you got a lot of money in that thing, and then it turns against you, and then you see it, you get knocked down on your backside. So I'm trying to balance this profitability with the risk, and that's why I like to buy a theta loss, theta. Even when I expect to sell in the next little while, even if the trade is just expected to be a few minutes in length, I still want to buy that time. I still want to buy time because these days, especially, there's no telling when the market's going to reverse on you. It's just much safer. So give that a try. All right. There's my 2 minute tutorial. Probably took that 5 minutes. I'm not really sure, but it's really something I think is very important to note. So we're taking this project 5,000 to 50,000 by the end of the year. This is where it sits. We are currently in, let me see if I can try this again here. If I do this, what is this, a spotlight? Maybe the spotlight. Okay. Well, I don't like the color. Okay. This is going to be a pain, is it? Maybe I should just, maybe I should just kind of forget it. Here we go. Color. Okay. Color, color. Okay. If we do this color, I don't know. It's red. Look at, we're currently at in a budget variance of about $4,200 to the negative. We're slowly working our way out of it. We had a couple bad trades here a couple weeks ago, knocked us down. We're ahead of the game by $4,100. We're actually down about 6,400 at one point, but we're now down to only 4,200 down in the red. I do have a couple option trades open right now, believe it or not, call trades. So we're really kind of banking on what's going to happen there. Or we may go into the red, but it's okay. We're going to probably ramp it up a little bit here to get ahead of the game. Okay. So we may end up going down before we come back up, but this is where it currently sits. The objective here is to make $50,000, turn $5,000 into $50,000 by the end of the year. Okay. So we may get bounced down again before this happens, but we'll wait and see what happens. All right. So stay with us. And by the way, we do this in the trading room every morning. All right. And not every day is going to be a trading day. I don't think I traded on Friday. I don't think did any trades on that on Friday. Very volatile and very a lot of uncertainty kicked in on Friday. So we initially set up some assumptions, guidelines. We're not inhibited by pattern day trade rules. We can actually make multiple trades a day, although I've been doing one or two a day. That's about it. Usually just one. No hurry. Just gonna follow the setups. Use scalps mostly. Set up 10 EMA crossing the 20 EMA. Looking to see the 1 and the 5 minute charts. Looking for chart patterns. I did have a bias towards calls, but I might be changing that more to puts if the market continues to drop as it is. What we do is we review the news, anticipate longer term direction. Um, and I do enter those, and if I am in calls or whichever direction I'm going, the indicators are in that direction. But oftentimes it's just so short-lived that it reverses on me, and I'm kind of stuck with it. As you all know, if you're in a bad trade, you can lose a lot of premium very quickly and just kind of left sort of hanging real quick. But I do want to buy time, and I do buy time. All right. And we started here with investing $5,000. We're currently up to $6,000. All right. So we're going to see when that, I think that goes to the end of April. When we continue to do 6,000, I think it turns into 7,000. So the idea here is to, when you hit your daily target, stop trading. Don't overtrade, all right? Unless, of course, you're on a real roll and your market's really going in your direction, and there's no ambiguity as to what's going on there. So, as mentioned here, number 8, I do focus on calls. Still kind of prefer calls, but I'm going to open my scope to more puts on that too, as the market gives us that. And of course, the rules can change as conditions change, and we're also thinking here, well, once we hit that 50,000, we can keep it going, see if we can get 100,000 by the end of the year. All right. This is something we do in the trading room every morning. Trading room every morning. So now I'm going to talk to you about some of the services that we provide, folks. All right, and then we'll get into some questions. I know we'll get a lot of questions here. Well, what do you have? And a website, not really sure. Where should I start? What should I do? If you're new to day trade spy, if you're new to trading options, new to spy options, new to day trading, um, anything at all, start with the inner circle. It doesn't cost you much. You're going to learn a lot. All right. It's not as aggressive as say the trading room, but what you're going to do is you are going to receive the morning market analysis. It's sent to your inbox every morning, 9 o'clock. In fact, my associate John, he's not on this evening. Give him the night off. He presents that, and you're going to get it's actually a flash assessment as to where SPY is expected to go that day. Okay, and there's also a follow-up report later in the day, and you're also going to be invited to our Wednesday night meetups. If you have any questions at all regarding SPY, regarding Think or Swim, or regarding the Greeks or chart patterns, chart setups, anything at all, bring them to the Wednesday night session. John likes to have some pretty cool training going on in there as well. You're going to learn a lot. You're also going to get the first notice of upcoming events. Okay, so it's actually pretty cool. So you can go to the website and you can go to the website and buy it there. But I'm going to recommend that you email customer service at DayTradeSPY for pricing. Because when you go there and say, "Do you have any specials on the inner circle?" They're going to say, "Yeah, I think we do." And if there's a better price to be had, that's how you're going to get it. Okay, so that's the inner circle. And depending on what kind of a package you buy, you're gonna have access to that. And I'm sensing that most people, I know that we have had customers on there going back many years. This was actually our very first service that we provided back in 2010 when I first started doing this. People started asking me, and well, what are you trading you? And how can we get in on this? And can you put your trades up on the website? And that's what started the whole thing is the inner circle. We expanded from that, and now we have the Day Trade Spy Signal, which is a particular option sent to your cell phone as a text message. 3 to 5 times a week, you're going to get this text message. It has been very successful. I think it's hanging around 90% success or something. So it's an algo-based morning trade. You're not going to be in the afternoon. It's going to be in the mornings. So this is really good if you're, say, running errands, taking the kids to school, running around, whatever. You're not at your computer at 9:30 Eastern time in the morning. You're very busy. You're out at the you're out on the ranch riding a horse. Um, I say that because my associate John, he has a ranch with horses. So if he's listening at all, then it's kind of a shout out to him on that. But this is an immediate buy. So as soon as you get the signal, you would buy it right away, right? Pull up your app on your cell phone or run to your computer the first 2 minutes, buy it, then immediately put up for sale for 5% profit target. Okay. And if you don't sell it in during the day, just sell it at the market close and take what the market gives you. Okay, that's kind of what the objective is of this. Now, a lot of people are making a lot more than 5%, and in our trading room, we teach you how to make a lot more than 5%. We only use these levels as guides to measure success. All right. I've been to in my early years, been to as probably many of you, a lot of various programs, and they would say, "Well, the stock went up 5 cents, so it's a success." Well, no, pal, it's not because I wouldn't have sold it for a nickel more, right? Um, but we use this 5% as a way to measure success on the signal. Again, for the best rate, contact customer service at DayTradeSPY for pricing. All right. Now, sometimes they get very busy, but if you email them, they will get back to you. And I hear some every now and then when there's a real promotion or something going on, it might even take them a day or maybe even 2 days to get back to you. They will get back to you. All right. They will get back to you. So next up is the pick of the day. Another very popular service that we provide. What we do there is John and I in the mornings, we collaborate, determine using um, our um, expertise, our many years expertise between John and I think we've got over 40 years. Well, I don't think I know. We have over 40 years market experience. So we know what we're talking about. Okay. But this is a particular option that is sent to you at 9 o'clock Eastern time every day, as long as the market is open. Now, every now and then you might even get a trade that says no trade today. That's because the volatility is so high that we're trying to protect you. All right. So if the volatility is extremely high, what that means is that it could be dangerous because if you're buying when, say, an option is $10 and it should be $6, and then you bought it at $10 and then they suck the volatility out of it, it goes down to $6. Now you're stuck with $4 loss. We don't want you to do that. So if at the time we're looking at this thing and it looks like the volatility is way over the top, and it doesn't look like it's going to come down in time, we'll issue a no trade day. This rarely happens, but just once in a while it does. Anyway, these are hand-picked options. So John and I collaborate every morning. We discuss the market events, the fundamentals, the technicals, market sentiment, the news that's coming up, the news that happened. I see Trump is now giving Iran an ultimatum, and he's basically saying there's going to be hell to pay if they don't cut this nuclear stuff. It's so Trump is a one-man band. I guess he's taking on the world. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, the pick of the day, then you buy it, right? And then you put it up for sale for 6%. Once again, the 6%, it's just a measure of success. And usually the pick of the day gives us our profits fairly quickly in the morning, sometimes in as little as 1 or 2 minutes. Now, if it is not health, so what we are doing there is this. We have been telling people, in the past, we told people because we have to have some sort of closure on these things. So we said, okay, put up for sale for 40% stop loss. Then we just changed it a couple of weeks ago. So we're not saying to use a 40% stop loss. What we're saying is if it hasn't sold by the end of the day, then sell it for the market value at the end of the day. Because what started to happen because of the high volatility and the markets would swing so much. We actually had a couple days in there the last month or two where it would go down 40%, but then it would reverse and deliver a nice profit on the same day. So we said, okay, well, let's cut this 40% out because it's just not making sense. So sell it at the end of the day if you're still in it. Now, if you understand what's going on, and those people in the trading room generally have a pretty good, I'm guessing, have a pretty good understanding of what the markets were doing and all that. It may be held overnight too if you need to, okay? Because these options generally have some, plenty of time that if you have to hold it overnight, you're probably going to be okay. Once again, because of the rates on the website, they can be different. I would suggest, again, calling or contacting customer service at daytradespy.com. Simply email them, tell them you're interested in the pick of the day. Okay, and then they'll give you the best rate. Next up, of course, is our famous, world famous, internationally acclaimed trading room. This is where John and I get together every morning. All right. Sometimes he leads, usually I lead. Doesn't matter. It's nice to, we're both, giving our all on there, and we show our screens. You will see our screens. We use Thinkorswim, Schwab Thinkorswim for our trades. I also trade on Tasty Trade, but by law, I'm not allowed to show that because that's a real trade account, and Tasty does not have a SIM account. By law, we're only allowed to show you our SIM accounts, but we also trade real, and we talk about real trades. This is where strategies come alive every morning, 9:20 to 10:30 Eastern. So we have our strategies, well, I mentioned the $5,000 to $50,000 strategy. I mentioned that earlier. We have our OMG strategy, which is short for out of the morning gate, where essentially we look and see where's the 5 minute candle, where's the 5 minute charts going. If we can see a breakout, we're going to go in that direction, looking for a 6% gain in that. We have our scalping strategy, which is my favorite. and do very well with that. Bread and butter strategies. So we're, this is where we discuss our strategies and we get into trades. We get together at 9:20. So the way it works is we open up the trading room at 9 o'clock. You'll hear the music. If you don't hear the music at say 9:10, 9:15, you better check your audio, software, and hardware. Make sure that everything is all plugged in and working. But we play music, and then at 9:20 we come on and discuss the events that are going to shape the markets that day, right? And it works very well. So we narrate the entire event. Sometimes we stay later after 10:30 if we're really on a roll or there's something going on. It's actually pretty cool. It's really pretty good. So learn and earn. These are interactive, exciting trading. So what you're going to see is where people chime in with their questions and comments, and we ring a bell for those who have success on the market. It's funny, the other day I found out that I was ringing this bell. It's a real bell, but I found out the other day that people were not hearing it. So what do you mean you're not hearing the bell? I hold it, it's right here. My microphone's picking up. And actually my microphone would filter out noise like the bell. So all this time I'm ringing the bell, making an idiot of myself, and you're not hearing the bell. So I had to invoke a software bell, YouTube sample on a desk bell, making it a little more cumbersome, but it's okay. It still works. Folks, these are interactive sessions. They're exciting, and this is as far as I know, the only trading room where you can actually get in there, communicate with us, and it's not a free for all where everybody's microphone is open and it's a Discord and everybody's talking and people are saying, "Hey, did you look at Apple? Did you look at this? Did you look at?" No, 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 no. We only trade SPY. Teach. It's a learn and earn session. We teach what we trade and we trade what we teach. And this is where you're going to get your questions answered in a real time, real live market environment. All right. And once again, very popular. All right. Very popular. And again, check with customer service at DayTradeSPY. Mm. Excuse me, I'll take a drink. My throat's been pretty dry here all day today. And you'll get the better rate. You get the better rate. Okay. So that's kind of what that's all about. Anyway, I know that the trading room is, if you contact customer service at DayTradeSPY, you'll get it for $6.99 for 3 months. So when you think about that, let's say even $700 for 3 months, $233 a month, or what works out to about $53 a day. What is that about? $10, $10 and divided by five. We're talking about $10.78 a day. I don't even think you can buy a Subway lunch. Maybe I don't know if you can get a half sandwich for that, can you? Um, and I think the value you get from having two professional traders um, on every day is pretty good. Sure wish I had that when I learned how to do this stuff, I'll tell you. I'd be jumping all over that. All right, let's look at some questions, folks. I don't want to keep you all night here. We're trying to keep it down to about an hour. Um, Good evening, Jackson from Fort Lauderdale. Excuse me. St. Louis. Okay. I was not able to attend your Wednesday phone meeting. It wasn't a phone meeting. It was a Zoom meeting. That was with John. He held the Wednesday. Oh, the phone meeting. Please see it. Oh, yes. Okay. Uh, so we had a teleconference last Wednesday, and that was regarding our Day Trade Spy Society, which included all of our programs for one special price. And I think that promotion is off. So proceed. What I'm going to recommend to you there is that you email customer service at DayTradeSpy and ask them if you can still get the Day Trade Spy Society. Okay, because that's what that was all about. The Day Trade Spy Society. So proceed if you can just do that. Email customer service at DayTradeSpy. Ask them if it's still available. I can't speak on their behalf, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't think they're going to just close the door on you. All right. Uh, Pre-trade market has already dropped another 3 points. I don't know where it's going to go tomorrow, Reggie. We're going to wait and see tomorrow. I know that markets can and do change a lot overnight. I don't even look at the markets the day before for that reason because I have seen it where things are looking really dismal early in the pre-market, and by the time the market opens, it pushes up, and then the day finishes, 8, 10 points higher than it opened. It's just been so crazy. Not sure it's going to happen again because we got the tariffs coming in here, April 2nd. I also read that early April, you can expect the markets to go up. So I'm throwing my hands up. You see that? My hands, is this the way? I don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see here. Open calls for April the 4th. I am concerned about those calls. And we may take a loss on those calls. I'm not going to kid you. It's going to be challenging to get out of those calls. I might just take a loss on those things. I'm going to see what happens on Monday and Tuesday. I hope to be out of those by Tuesday. So we'll see what happens. I know the volatility is going to be pretty elevated on those 2 days, probably a little bit less on Wednesday. So I probably want to be out of those on Monday or Tuesday. So, and I'm bracing for a loss on that too. So, all right, okay. Some comments about Trump, and it's gonna be an interesting, very interesting next several years. Let's put it that way. Um, and I don't know, some good, some not so good. One thing I noticed about Trump, he is very impulsive, whimsical. He'll change things on a whim. By that I mean that. And I'm going to consider that if he sees something not going right, he'll fix it. Okay. I'm going to see that, and he acts quickly. So even if he implements these tariffs, my opinion, that's all this is. Then I think $1.50 will buy you a small coffee somewhere. Uh, I suspect that if he does see something going really amiss, really far off the rails, he'll do something to fix it. I'm hoping, I'm guessing, and I have to rely on it. So I've also been viewing a lot of different podcasts and different things, and that's what we do. All right. So John and I, what we do, and here's a real benefit with the trading room, especially the trading, because John and I, we are like conduits. Okay. We're always looking at news. When we're not trading, we're always scouting for various things, and we get a lot of information. One of the things I saw that somebody said that Trump is either extremely brilliant. In other words, there's smart people, then there's the geniuses, and then there's Trump. So either he's extremely smart and really forward-looking, global, and he's very concerned about the security of America and how he wants to have a North American secure zone. And by securing the U.S., he has to secure Canada, and he's very concerned about the Arctic because Russia and China are very interested in the Arctic, northern Canada. And uh, and really, when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. And maybe instead of spending a lot of money for both countries, Canada and the US, securing the border between the two nations here that's been undefended for, a couple hundred years here, whatever, maybe it should be more of a North American um, border protection and keep the bad guys out. Free trade, right? Imagine if there's free trade between these two countries. A lot of resources in Canada. They buy a lot of our goods. There's a lot of back and forth. So that might not be a bad thing. Um, not be might not be a bad thing. I think there might be some convincing to do on that with the powers that be, but maybe it's something. Borders change frequently. Well, not frequently, from time to time they change. Look at World War II in Europe. I mean, I think they drew the borders in pencil on the map, didn't they? They kept erasing them, moving them over. But there's deals made. I don't know. I don't know. Trump wants Greenland. I don't know. It's very strategic in his thinking, very forward looking in his thinking, and I think there's some validity to it myself, just my opinion. But and then other people say he's just a really bad guy, really stupid guy, doesn't know. And other people say, well, he's trying to put the country into a recession so he can, bring it back out of the recession. And some people say he's making money on the stock market going down. He's pushing it down. He's making money on shorts, and he's going to build. Who knows? A lot of conspiracy theory. I don't even want to go there. I think there's probably many conspiracy theories out there. So. All right. Ed says, remember Trump said he was saved by God to save America. It's dangerous stuff. Why listen to advisors when God is giving you ideas? I don't know. I'm sitting back. I'm going to wait and see. And again, I suspect that if these tariffs are implemented and he sees that something's not right, he's going to move to fix them. He's going to move to fix them. Okay, so it's one of those things. Daniel's asking when I talk about repairing trades, when I talk about dollar cost averaging, that is correct. So you are putting more money into a trade when you are repairing the trade, but just because the option is cheaper, that's not the only criteria to repair the trade. Obviously, you would be doing it when the stock is really cheaper, but there's criteria set up for that. And sometimes it's best to cut your losses. If you don't see this thing reversing on you, maybe it's time, you know what? I just don't like the way this is going. I'd rather take the loss and get on with the next trade, right? All right. Question from James here. Are you doing anything differently after the two big losses since you haven't had any big losses since the second loss? Yeah, I am more careful, more nimble. I don't feel the need to be in a trade every day. I kind of want to sit back and see what's going on um, with the market before I jump in. And sometimes when I see a market to the upside, okay, is this now the move up, right? Because oftentimes you do see it, and when it starts pushing up through resistance. The other day, I actually had a really good setup, and it was pushing up through resistance, and we poked through it. We actually poked through it, and it looked like we're gonna gain ground by several points very quickly. But the Bears wrestled it back down. He goes, oh, come on, come on. The Bears would not let it go. Oh, I think it was Thursday actually. So we gotta look at that too. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, some people have had setbacks here. I took a setback last week, but overall my 5K has increased by almost 3K since I started March the 3rd. Congratulations on that, Mark. Um, so I would suggest there, trade small, trade often. Watch the setups, be very careful, and be nimble, right? Be very careful. Don't and maybe and you can tell by the volume. Look at the volume on the options. Monitor that. Get a feel for that. And you'll see that when volatility is really high, you'll see the volumes tend to be weaker, right? Not as much volume being traded. That's telling you something. That means that a lot of traders kind of sit back in the bush just watching it, right? All right. Da-da-da. With the inner circle, will I be able to get the signal going? No, the signal is a different subscription than the inner circle, as is the pick of the day. Do we use OCO trades? No, I have used them in the past, but I just generally don't. Okay. All right. Scott, you said I forgot the best. No, I didn't forget it, Scott. He's saying I forgot the best deal of a lifetime, the society. So, okay, so Eagle Financial Products, they own us. That's our bosses. They promote this society, which is a package deal on all of our services. One special price. They promote that I think twice a year, and I think it's finished now. But I think if you still talk to them nicely and say, anyway, I can still slip in under the radar on that one. I can't speak on their behalf, but maybe they'll make an exception for you. But you better do it quick. All right. All right. Do you think we're entering a bear market? I don't know. I'm gonna let the market tell us. I thought we were gonna enter a bear market the other day, and then the market came right back up and took us out of the bear market, right? Let's see. Yeah, the single hardest struggle I'm having is the emotional component. trying to back off. You can, it's that whole emotional thing. This is a very emotional game. All right. Trading is all emotions. It's just that we happen to be the game itself just happens to be the stock market, but it's a whole play on your emotions. So, da, 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 da. Okay. Um, okay. Charles, do you trade the pick of the day? Um, so I don't personally I don't do the pick of the day because I'm busy in the trading room. I'm narrating the trading room, and very often I don't even trade myself because I'm narrating the trading room. So I don't want to take attention away from my trading room narration and the focus on that and do my own trades. Sometimes I do trade my own trades. When there's a lull in the action, I'll go and place my own trades. And the pick would just be a distraction on that. So I don't do that, but our success there is also, I think, somewhere around, I want to say 88, 90%, something like that. So, all right. So what I'm going to do here is it's 9 o'clock, 9:01. I have a contest. Oh, there's the contest. Okay. There it is right there. So I want you to all pick a number between 1 and 100. Punch it up in the questions box. We have your name, so you don't have to give us your name. Just give us your number. I'm going to give you a minute or so to get a number here. And the closest to the random number selected wins the ebook, Triumphs and Tragedies. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute or so. Whoa, look at all the numbers there. And I'm going to see. I have all these numbers. Okay, punch up all. Everybody, come on, guys. Doesn't cost you anything. You're not going to be swarmed with emails or nothing like that. Hmm. And something I'm trying to do is actually working on some programming on this, and I was kind of trying it out with you guys for the first time. All right, let me see all these numbers. Okay. All right, I'll give you another I'll give you guys another 15 seconds to give me your number, all right? Starting now. Another 15 seconds. Give me your numbers, folks. If you haven't yet punched up a number, give me a number the closest to the number of this random. It's going to be a random number selected. I've got a random number generator. That's what I was working on. So I'm trying to broaden my programming horizons here. So we'll see what happens. And we shall see. Okay, the 15 seconds are up. Now I'm going to try this. Okay, I'm going to try this if I run this. Okay, here's my random number generator. I'll tell you, I spent hours developing this. I'm going to see if this works. Okay, so I hit this number here, this generate number. The number is 32, folks. The number is 32. Let's see who is the closest to 32. And if you are, uh, and if there's two people, you both get the ebook. All right, let me see. 32. We have a 27. We have a okay. Mark P has 31. This is interesting. Mark P has 31 so far. He is a winner. And we have, let me see, I'm going down to see who this could be. We have Renee at 33. Wow, really? Okay, that's interesting. And that's it. Okay, well, you know what? We have two winners, each of which is only one number apart. So we have the number was 32. Uh, Mark P came in at 31. And Renee, what's his last name here? I should know this guy. Renee C, 33. Congratulations. I will get you that ebook shortly. All right. Hey, folks, thank you very much for this. It's really been a real pleasure. Oh, now how do I get rid of this guy? Okay, there we go. Okay. And the recording will be uploaded probably tomorrow. And as always, we'll see you, hope to see you tomorrow morning in the trading room. So take care, everybody. Good trading. Thanks for joining us.
You're the one, shine brighter than the moon and the sun. Be great at what you do, give it all of you, and trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what